So I got to say, I want to welcome all of you to the show. Mansa Musa here with the show, which is known as Fire Will Burn You. Sorry about that. I always have to issue that disclaimer, that warning that anytime I say fire will burn you, it doesn't necessarily mean fire is going to burn you. No, 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 no. I wouldn't do that to anybody. I won't let fire devour you. But it's a verbal fire. When you come here, a jolly dim, a jolly dim, a jolly dim. 80, the American says, they say, dear, me da, munyina say, wa mo train me. And I welcome you all to the show that is Fire Will Burn You. Right, so tonight is all about the current issues, the current happenings, whatever is going on in Ghana politics. Apparently, Nana Akufo-Addo is not happy because apparently Mahama said something with regards to how Akufo-Addo has turned, apparently, into a clearing agent who clears. Akufo-Addo has given his own reply saying that no, I don't clear. Just that I don't clear. I don't know, but you make a answer. Fire! Fire will burn you. Fire will burn you. Fire will burn you. Fire will burn you. Tonight, all going well if everything goes nicely, and we are fortunate enough to get the airwaves or the signals all intact. All the signals intact, then we will invite Mr. Felix Ofosukwachi to come and have discussion with us, to come and talk about what is going on in Ghana politics. Obviously, Ofosukwachi is the parliamentary candidate for the NDC for the Abra Asebu Kwaman Kese constituency. That young fellow who is very, very bright in the brain indeed. And obviously, let's see. So the thing is, yeah. So we will discuss issues, all manner of issues. One of them being what is happening in the Ghana Police Force or the police service. You see, these guys who met in Bugir Nabu's office or somewhere to discuss issues of or matters of very, sensitive nature about how, despondent they were or they are, how they feel this IGP will not play ball, will not do well, will not maybe make things easy for the NPP. You see, for me, I've since this inquest, whatever you call it, when it started, I've been saying that it looks as if these police officers, they are being treated as if they are whistleblowers, and so they sit down to narrate their grievances. And the way the whole discussion is going, it looks as if the IGP is on trial. The IGP has done something wrong, and people are coming to tell on him in public. That is how it looks like. But honestly speaking, for me, you see the partisan nature of everything. After all, this Honorable Atachia, who is the head of the committee, it is his party which perhaps this or the police officers were somehow whatever what do we call it treasonous or mutinous activity they were up to. Obviously, it will be in the benefit or interest of the NPP. Atachia is an NPP, and so you see, the whole thing has tended to be as though these police officers must be allowed to talk. Look, these police officers, to me, they are polluting the whole system with very sensitive, unnecessary information. You see, when they sit at this committee, sometimes they behave as though they are very, very, how do we call it, concerned with sensitive nature of this and that. But the amount of bile, the misinformation or disinformation or unnecessary information, white man will say too much information, that comes out. We end up listening to such informations that can potentially, bring everything into disrepute. So, if I had my own way, I would just say this inquest should end.
NFM Radio.
You understand? The inquest will have to come to an end because those two police officers, I don't know how many of them go about talking. These people, by now they should be sacked properly or being charged with something serious. It is not right. It isn't right in this environment to claim that, the IGP, not that he's, you see, he's not reporting that the IGP is going to do something bad for Ghanaians. Let's say the IGP is going to conspire with certain people to make sure that something bad will happen. These people are, all what they are talking about is that the IGP is going to stand firm. Whether or if he can do that is another, discussion for another time. But what we are hearing from these two policemen so far is that the IGP is going to stand firm and be neutral during the elections. And so if other members of the police community do not like the IGP being firm and fair, have these people really got any sort of, should they have any sympathy that they should be giving the national floor to be saying all this? They went secretly to plot against the IGP. They went secretly to plot against the IGP. If we are told that they have anything serious or any grievances worth telling Ghanaians, I don't see it at all. The whole thing is being done to look as if the IGP is on trial. To go quietly into a room to conspire to undermine what we call it, the very, what we call it, what should I say, not feeble, but the already suspicious nature of our, political landscape. For two senior officers to go and sit down quietly in some house and start conspiring, then they come and sit them down to come and spew more. It's wrong. Anyway, as advertised, I told you all, tonight I have as a guest one of the top communicators of the NDC and also a parliamentary candidate for where Mansa Musa I come from. That is Abura Asebu Kwamankasi. That is the area. There's a beautiful place. If you want to talk beauty in terms of natural or nature's, the scene, the scenery, the green, the trees, and the people who live in those areas naturally are very, very welcoming people indeed. I'm not saying this because I come from there, but it's a beautiful place. Anyway, as we speak, it's just 1 minute exactly to 8 p.m. here in the UK. It will be the same 1 minute to 7 in Ghana. So this man, right, is on budget, is on the, is right on top of things. He's here, he's not late, unlike others. Mr. Felix Okofu, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Right, your voice too is nice and clear, so I am happy for that. Well, it's been a long while since I've been tracking you, chasing you, asking you, begging you. Well, I didn't beg, but you understand my jokes. And I know you have been very, very busy. You have been everywhere. Everywhere. Anyway, I watch here and there. Now, today, I must say, I seriously appreciate, in fact, I'm so happy that my producer said he had to go somewhere. Can you manage? I say yes, because I don't want anyone to think that, okay, I need any sympathy. So, thanks for coming. Let's go straight to the point. And my main beef these days, do we have in our constitution, the allowance for a CJ, that is the Chief Justice, to decide, for example, what she has decided now, that petitions and hearings and topmost, issues, if she is not in her office, sat at her table, then nobody can venture and proceed with anything. Practically, justice will be put on hold. You are the learned guys. Do you know of anything in the Constitution which allows her to do this?
Yes, there's no specific provision on what you are referring to. So the Chief Justice has to use her discretion to appoint judges.
Please, 1 second. Please, 1 second. The gentleman who have just come in, can you mute your microphone? Because you are not speaking, but the noise you are bringing in. Otherwise, we have to take you. Thank you very much. Mr. Kwachi, let's go.
Yes. Like I was saying, there is no specific provision in the Constitution on how the Chief Justice should empanel judges. It is left to her discretion. So she can decide which judge sits on which case. We are aware that for lower courts, there is an automated system. So it is computerized and removes the human element of discretion. However, for superior courts like the High Court up to the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice does the empaneling. But the convention that has existed all this while is that if the Chief Justice, for some reason, is unable to perform a function, either
NFM Radio,
infirmity, as in not being well for a particular day or a number of days, or travels, the most senior Supreme Court judge will act in her absence until she returns. So there can never be a situation where the Chief Justice insists that because she is physically not present in the jurisdiction, she cannot empanel a judge on a case for which time is of the essence, like the one that the four political parties filed against the Electoral Commission. Even if she is outside of the jurisdiction, today, because of technology, it is very easy to correspond with her office and give directives for specific things to be done. So it is quite mind-boggling that in the specific case of the suit filed by 4 political parties against the Electoral Commission, the registrar of the court told the representatives of the applicants or the applicants that because the Chief Justice was out of the jurisdiction, she has said that she cannot empanel a judge. In any event, the Chief Justice got into town sometime this weekend and was in Cape Coast today for the bar conference. So she had time between the time she arrived and being in Cape Coast to have worked on this thing expeditiously, because the injunction has been filed. The application for an injunction has been filed in order to stop the EC from commencing the registration exercise, which is starting tomorrow. So it was so vital that this matter was disposed of or dispensed with expeditiously, so that the parties who have filed the suit will know exactly what to do regarding the way forward for the registration. So it's a most bizarre development. And you see, it dovetails into the concerns that President Mama has raised. And it will interest you to note that a few hours ago, President Mama raised this issue on social media. He made a social media post lamenting what he believes to be an effort to undermine the terms by the 4 parties to injunct the EC. Would you believe that within an hour of posting that message on social media, the registrar of the court got back to one of the lawyers that the Chief Justice has instructed that the case should now be heard on the 17th, 5 clear days after the EC has commenced the registration exercise. So did the Chief Justice have to wait for criticism from the former president before? And why has a date been fixed for a day when the exercise would already have commenced? And what the political parties seek to cure would have become moot. So honestly, these matters do not give us satisfaction at all. That justice delivery in Ghana is being done in a fair and balanced manner.
So in this case, can we the simplistic way of saying it, that this isn't how do I say it? It is not the appropriate way to carry out, the justice delivery system, or let's say
Exactly.
it is not the right way to do it. My question is, why do you think this is going on? This is happening.
You see, Article 296 of the Constitution speaks about the use of discretion. It says that where discretionary power is given to anybody, that discretion must be exercised reasonably. So you have the power to appoint a judge.
NFM
You know
Radio.
that the case has been brought before the courts, but it has been brought at a time when it needs to be dealt with quickly, so that the parties involved do not suffer irreparable damage. So why should you leave the jurisdiction without making an effort to appoint a judge? Or even if the case was brought at a time when you were not in the jurisdiction, how difficult is it to correspond with your office to direct on which judge should be given the case? And you see, over the last few months, President Mama and the NDC have had cause to complain about the packing of the courts by President Akufo-Addo with MPP people. And some of these things appear to bear out the strong belief we have that justice delivery has been politicized in Ghana, and that President Akufo-Addo has deliberately sought to capture the judiciary and bend the judiciary to his will, so that it is what he wants that prevails. So we in the NDC have come to a conclusion that for as long as President Akufo-Addo has an interest in any case in court, it doesn't matter how good your case is, somehow you are not going to get the outcome that you desire, because President Akufo-Addo or the NPP has interest in the case. Today, the president went to the bar conference and feigned outrage that President Mama has criticized this lopsided and imbalanced judiciary we have. he sought to create the impression that we have created a distinction between NDC and MPP judges.
It was being hypocritical. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
It looks as if we've lost our guest. I told you that when you come on, just mute your microphones. I told you to mute your microphones, but you decided not to mute it. For some reason, Mr. Ofosu's line has dropped. Let's hope, I've just sent him a message. Let's hope that he will come back quickly with us or to us so that we can continue with the conversation. You are listening to Mansa Musa, and it's now 8 minutes, nearly 10 minutes past 8 here in the London. Okay, so Mr. Ofosu says it looks as if his internet is acting up. Hopefully we'll get it back. I mean, he's back. So, Mr. Kwachi, you are back. Yeah, I think he's resetting. Mr. Kwachi, you are back. I can see you.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I think the internet.
Well, these things happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, carry on with where you left us.
Yeah. So, it is obvious that President Akufo-Addo has packed the courts with MPP judges. And that is the reason why justice delivery is so skewed against the opposition or anybody who challenges the Akufo-Addo administration. Now, when President Mahama made
lopsided system that we have, he was not speaking out of turn.
There is incontrovertible evidence that President Akufo-Addo has packed the courts with MPP. In the last 7 years, he has appointed close to 100 judges, which is the highest ever in the history of Ghana. Since 1992, the MPP has appointed 64% of all Supreme Court judges. President Mahama appointed only 2 Supreme Court judges. President Akufo-Addo has appointed 11. He has appointed an additional 15 appeals court judges. So it is obvious that this has been done deliberately. Now, I'm going to give you names of specific MPP people and give you evidence of their MPP membership to buttress the point we make about the partisan nature of our judiciary now. Now, there is a gentleman called Justice Solomon Chumesi, who is a judge in the High Court. This gentleman, and when I finish speaking to you, I will forward to you video clips of this gentleman speaking on behalf of the MPP in a radio station in Kumasi. This gentleman later became the chairman for the MPP in the Doma East constituency. He was appointed as a High Court judge last year. In addition to this gentleman, there's another one called Eric Ansa Ankuma, who used to work in the same chambers as Nana Obribwa. And I will send you Facebook screenshots of his Facebook post defending the MPP and Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo has made him a High Court judge. There's another one called Justice Nabila Sahibu. She is the wife of our trade minister, Katie Hammond, and an MPP person. There's another one called Dr. Ernest Owusu Dapa, who was a member of President Akufo-Addo's legal team in the 2020 presidential elections petition. In addition to him, there is Justice Yagewu, who contested as the MPP candidate for the Whole West constituency in the 2016 elections. on him, he openly admitted.
So there's no dispute about it. There's also Justice Clemens Oyeluga.
You remember him as a judge who sat on the Okuni case. When he was an appeals court judge, he openly endorsed and supported President Akufo-Addo's 2020 election bid. And I could go on and on and on. Look,
of this.
there are many cases that I can cite for you of unfair treatment of the NDC. Let me start with the Okuni case. You know Justice Clemens Oyeluga, now he's retired.
Yeah.
He was an appeals court judge when he openly supported President.
And therefore will not be relied upon
To deliver justice fair in a case involving an NDC, high-profile personality. Justice Oyeluga turned 70 earlier this year, or last year, I beg your pardon. And he was required by law as a Supreme Court.
Yet they extended his tenure
by 6 months so that he could finish the Okuni case. For some reason, he could not finish the Okuni case. So they appointed another judge. This judge then said that in the interest of justice and fairness, he was going to restart the trial so that he can have a feel of all the witnesses and judge their composure to see whether they were telling the truth or not. He gave this ruling. My brother, within weeks of giving this ruling, this new judge was transferred from Accra to another region. And the case was removed, taken from him and given to another judge, who is now continuing from where Justice Clemens Oyeluga left off. My brother, you recall that when in 2021, the minority rejected the 2021 budget because of the e-levy. A certain gentleman called Justice Abdullahi took the matter to court. Within a few days, the Supreme Court sat on that case and overturned the rejection of the 2021 budget by the
minority also purported to have approved the 2021
budget, and the minority went to court. Can you believe that that case has been in court for 2 years and it has never been called? Meanwhile, the other one that the MPP had interest in, it was called within days and dealt with within days of its filing. If you put this aside, you recall the birth certificate matter, where the NDC challenged the legality of the EC's refusal to accept birth certificates. The Supreme Court was able to tell us in a bizarre ruling that the birth certificate, and I'm sure you've seen a birth certificate before, you have some for your children, I believe, on which your nationality, in terms of where you come from, is stated clearly. Your wife's nationality is stated clearly. Yet, our Supreme Court says that that certificate cannot be proof of your nationality. Where your parent comes from, where your mother comes from, is stated on that document, which is issued by a statutory, lawfully composed body called the Birth and Death Registry. The Supreme Court says that that document cannot be used because President Akufo-Addo and the MPP do not want that document. They want to restrict access to the electoral roll by persons who come from places where they may not have Ghana cards or passports. Insulted a High Court judge. He only wrote a letter to the Chief Justice that he thinks the judge is biased against him because he cited him for contempt. Based on this letter alone, Chief Justice Eniyebua, changed the judge who was sitting on the case. But as for this case, he has gone heaven and earth, filed application, and yet Justice Oyeluga was never changed until he reached retirement. The same Delegate, when he insulted that High Court judge with appalling language, he went to court, they cited him for contempt, he got a slap on the wrist. I think he was fined 1,800 Ghana cedis or so. When the Monsieur Three, who are NDC people, attacked judges verbally, they were sentenced to a 3-month jail term and fined heavily. Even the owners of the radio station on which they appear to say those things, who did not even know that those gentlemen were appearing on their station, were fined, were punished. Meanwhile, when Akufo-Addo's terrorists, who he calls Delta Forces and Invincible Forces, went to attack a court in Kumasi and freed their colleagues, nobody was held in contempt or nobody was jailed for it. And there are so many. Look, there is a judge who held Kevin Taylor in contempt. In the rate that he issued, it is a perpetual rate, which means that it is permanently binding on Kevin Taylor. Anytime he sets foot in Ghana, he will be arrested. In that rate, the judge called Kevin Taylor a scoundrel. My brother, if a judge calls you a scoundrel when he has cited you for contempt, what kind of justice can you receive in this court? If he has already described you as a scoundrel. Meanwhile, as for Kennedy Japon, when he insulted the judge in language that I cannot repeat.
So, Mr. Kwachi, we can safely.
The judge will not treat him fairly. So the judge was changed. You know, so there are so many instances of unfairness and imbalance that I can cite to buttress the point that President Mama has made.
I see.
So let nobody to tell us that we don't know what we are talking about, or that they can presume to lecture us on what we should make of the judicial system in Ghana.
So it is very clear for all to see that somehow the powers that be, let's say, i.e., the president himself or the executive, they are using, the sway they have in the judiciary to somehow, control law and order or the outcomes of any judicial issues. In this respect, as an opposition party, if we all say we love our freedom, the peace of mind, and the democracy we have now, what, have you guys got? I mean, what can you do? What avenues do you have? Given that if it was in Europe, the European Union will come heavily on a government which, it seemed to be not be acting in line with maybe the set out rules. But ECOWAS, they only see when people are shouting on the street and there are soldiers come out to say we've taken over. Other than that, this sort of, I don't say diplomacy, but political or constitutional manipulation to gain power or to maintain power, ECOWAS does nothing. So what else have you guys have? What are the avenues that the NDC or the other political parties can take to address this before it gets out of hand, so to speak?
You see, Justice Louis Brandeis, he is the founder of the Brandeis University. The university is named after him in the US, in Massachusetts, Boston. He made a profound statement. He's a former justice of the US Supreme Court. He said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. What that means is that the more you expose wrongdoing, the less likelihood there is for the wrongdoing to continue. Because what wrongdoers hate is exposure. And that is why President Akufo-Addo is so angry that President Mama is exposing the bias and lopsidedness and imbalance in our judicial system. So the first point is to be courageous, to publicly call out President Akufo-Addo and his collaborators in the judiciary who seek to create an unfair and partial judicial system, which suppresses dissent, suppresses the opposition in order to give the government and the MPP an upper hand. The second point is that there's a permanent cure to this, which is to put out the MPP at the earliest opportunity in 2024. Because you see, President Mahama has been president before. He appointed only 2 Supreme Court judges who were not NDC people. And he will never behave like President Akufo-Addo has behaved, simply populating our courts with MPP judges to go and skew cases in favor of governments. So one of the ways to get rid of this partisanship in our judiciary is to remove the source of that partisanship, which is the party in power that is doing this thing. And if Ghanaians vote them out, throw them out in the 2024 elections, they will not have the capacity anymore to do what President Akufo-Addo is doing. So it is incumbent on all of us as citizens not to allow the blackmail that some like to engage in, like the lives of the Ghana Bar Association, which is essentially now the legal wing of the MPP. that anytime you criticize the judiciary or the conduct of a particular judge or a particular court, you are undermining justice delivery. Justices or judges are tough people. They can pronounce death on you. They can change your destiny. They sentence people to prison. They are not spring chicken. They will not kill over and die only because they've been criticized. So people should stop telling us that criticizing the judiciary undermines justice delivery. There is no sacred cow in the democracy. What that means is that no one person is above scrutiny. So whether the person is a chief justice, a high court judge, a district court, or a magistrate judge, a magistrate, they are subject to scrutiny. And in fact, if there's any arm of government that requires the strictest scrutiny, it is the judiciary. Because unlike the executive, whose members are elected, unlike the judiciary, whose members are elected, and for which reason it serves as a lead, a check on them, judges are not elected. They are appointed by a political, president. And therefore, there is far less accountability as far as they are concerned than the other arms of government. Therefore, it behoves citizens to demand the highest standards of fairness and balance from judges. What they do must reflect the ethos and principles of any judicial system in the world, which is fairness and balance. When I appear before a judge, the party I belong to should not matter any more than the color of my hair. In Ghana, we do not appear to have that system. And the only way we are going to stop it is to continuously rail against it, continuously criticize it, continuously raise the issues and shine light on it until the time that they themselves accept that the people of Ghana will no longer countenance this sort of judicial system. Because nobody can place himself above the very people from whom they derive their power. The first line in Ghana's constitution is that sovereignty resides in the people. It means that the true power in this country belongs to the people of Ghana. The Supreme Court, the High Court, the Appeals Court, the entire judiciary was established to serve the people of Ghana. So judges are not gods. They are not deities to be worshipped. They are human. They are amenable to influences. They are amenable to political bias. In fact, through analysis work, we have got to know that ordinary citizens who have some small money can use some small amounts of money and yam and goods to influence judges. Yet we are being told that an overreaching partisan extremist like President Akufo-Addo cannot influence the work of MPP people that he has appointed to various courts in this land. That is not being truthful and it's not being candid. And the way that we guard against it and check it is to ensure that we carry out scrutiny on their work. We should not relent in pointing out wrongdoing, unfairness, imbalance, and injustice whenever it happens.
Yes, we got to do that. Let me ask you, though, let's go on to the issue that is between the people of Ghana, or at least some of them, and the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission is not here to defend himself, but let me ask you, surely they have explained as to why they have come up with this decision of, telling Ghanaians that, look, we are doing limited registration and you can only be registered at district offices. Surely they should come out with some explanation. What are they?
Of course, they've said something, but it makes no sense. You see, says Jim Mansa, who in any event is another MPP operative, another non-MPP operative, and one an MPP propaganda. So I'll send you a video of him doing propaganda in radio stations on behalf of the MPP. He has been appointed as an electoral commission. Since they took over, they have done everything in their power to limit the frontiers of access to our electoral room. Everything they have done has been to make sure that as few people as possible get onto the elections register. And they know that given the utterly useless governance Akufo-Addo has supervised in this country, in any fair and credible election, the MPP will be thrown out. So they appear determined to ensure that does not happen. And so every time there's opportunity to register, they put impediments in the way of the people. And some of the things they make or they do simply do not make any sense. Let me give you AAK quite well. I'm parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the Abrasibu Kamakasi constituency. You know that from Yomwa to Abrodungwa, it can take you anything between 45 minutes to an hour to get there. So an old woman in Yomwa who for some reason was unable to register in the past registration exercises and has need to come to Abrodungwa to register must incur costs and sit in a vehicle all the way from Yomwa to get to Yomwa, sometimes
despite a remote location.
Somebody coming from Patasi, where you have to cross a river, or alternatively go through Cape Coast in order to get to, you have to sit in a vehicle at extra cost to you to Abrodungwa. Meanwhile, there are thousands of people who are willing to participate in this exercise. And therefore, it becomes the cost of political parties and people like myself involved in this to ensure that I find transportation for NDC supporters and members who want to register. So they have brought unnecessary additional cost to us. Of course, as for the MPP, they are stealing every money in sight. Millions of dollars are being discovered in the homes of their ministers. So they have all the money in the world, which they clearly have looted from the public purse to finance this. But we in the opposition who do not have access to this kind of money have to cough out monies that we do not have in order to facilitate participation in this exercise for our members. The other issue too is that if you go to Abrodungwa in the Abu-Asebuka Market constituency, for instance, they are using only 2 stations. We are told that one of the stations will work for only 5 days. And then for the rest of the 16 days, only one machine will be operating. So people who go to queue at the place have to queue for hours because the process will naturally be slow in order to have their turn to register. So it is a major disincentive.
Yeah, but Mr. Kwachi, let me play devil's advocate here.
In this exercise.
Let me play devil's advocate.
There's no sense.
Yeah, Mr. Kwachi, let's play some devil's advocate and ask this question that surely the EC, in their view, in how they've calculated all these things, perhaps they should have a reason. Maybe not much money, no resources. Maybe they don't have personnel. They should give some tangible reasons. That's what I mean. What you are saying is right.
They have not given any reason. First of all, this is the same issue that in 2020 decided that despite the existence of a credible register, which was used for the 2016 elections, which saw Akufo-Addo win from opposition, they had to change it because Akufo-Addo wanted a new register. They spent $80 million compiling a new register when Akufo-Addo wanted it. So when you have to do limited registration, suddenly they don't have money. Yet this government can find money to dig a useless hole in Accra for $58 million in the name of building a cathedral. And I'm sure you are aware that apart from that $58 million, there is another $52 million that is due for payment because the contractor has raised certificates which are due for payment. So in all, we are talking $110 million spent on a useless hole in the middle of Accra to build a cathedral. So you can spend $110 million on cathedrals, holes, but you cannot spend a fraction of that to ensure that we have a smooth sailing process for Ghanaians to participate in registration. So clearly, the Electoral Commission is joined at the hip with the MPP. They are in cahoots with the MPP to limit registration because they know that Ghanaians, especially young people, are extremely angry to the useless governance that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia have offered and are willing to throw them out in 2024 when they go to vote. For that reason, they must put impediments in their way and make it difficult, provide a disincentive for people not to register. That is why they are doing this. Otherwise, no explanation they've offered now makes any bit of sense.
Right. Now, so what is left for the opposition or the rest of Ghanaians? What are you going to do next? The judge is, you said, about 7 days, maybe after the registration had already started, right? So perhaps the court case is not even going to be relevant anymore. Are you just going to just leave it, give up, and encourage people to go and register anyway?
We are not going to give up. We are going to actively participate and do whatever we can.
Your microphone keeps dropping. Yeah, I know these problems. Sometimes it is like that. Mr. Fosukwachi's microphone is gone dead. Hopefully he will come back. As time goes, look, very soon, I know some of you want to ask questions. I will ask you to raise your hand electronically, and I will get you to come and ask your questions. Yeah, Mr. Kwachi is still with us, but the microphone is gone down. These things do happen.
NFM Radio.
So please bear with. Right. If you have just tuned in, we are here tonight with Mr. Ofosukwachi. He's a top NDC communicator and also the NDC parliamentary candidate for Abra Asebu Kwamankasi constituency in a very beautiful part of Central Region. We are asking him about so many. In fact, we have a lot to cover. Hopefully, we'll get the machines working. We'll get the Zoom, the microphones set up nicely, and we can get him to come and speak to us. Most of the times, I do invite people from the other side, the MPP side. Look, somebody like Richard Ahiagba. Look, the other time he nearly came. Then he was saying, he called me boss, please, let's do it another time. You see, so I don't want anyone to think that I'm only interested in bringing in the NDC people. No, I want the MPP people here, but maybe they don't want me because maybe they feel I bash them too much. Sometimes my writing, Mr. Ni, thank you very much. I'm watching on Facebook. Thank you very much indeed. If you're on Facebook and you want to write something, I'll read it. If you want to send it to WhatsApp yes, I'll read it. On YouTube, the YouTube is now showing the pictures of the Zoom. You see, so when you come on the YouTube, on the Zoom, you'll be on the YouTube as well. Let me try and see if I can contact Felix to see his whereabouts, because I can see he's still here. Just that he is still here. Just that the microphone is down. Let me ask. Sometimes he has got a phone call. So obviously he has to speak, tell somebody, look, I'm on this, that, then he will come back. So let us not tremble or despair or what do we call it? Don't let us be overly anxious. He will surely come back, because I can see. Mr. Fosukwachi, are you here? Are you back?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, please. You are back now. Okay, let's hang on a second. Mr. Kwachi was here. Then, in fact, he told me that his internet was playing up. But we'll try and persist and see how far we can go. In any case, any of you here, before we re-establish contact with signal contact with Mr. Fosukwachi, any of you here want to say something that conversational between us before he comes back? I can see you there, and I can see many of you too on the radio side. For the radio, I know you cannot talk unless you call. But if you're on the Zoom and you want to say something, just raise your hand, unmute your microphone, and tell me something. Mansa Musa is ready to rock. How do we say it? And rumble, yeah. We are going to rumble, yeah.
NFM Radio.
Yes, Abe, you want to say something? Hello, Mr. Abe. I can see your hand is up. If you will unmute your microphone, then you can talk to me.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, how are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Your guest, is he a lawyer?
I know he has some master's or doctorate in something, but to be honest, okay, I'm still in contact with him where he's trying to, but well, hopefully he will be back. Hopefully, I cannot answer. I don't think Ofosukachi is a lawyer. No.
So I think some of the legal issues, I think he's the wrong person to address those things. That is one. The second question is, he quoted Brandeis that sunlight is a disinfectant. The question I would have liked to ask him, if I was talking to him directly, would be this. When his party's founder, J.J. Rawlings, exposed him in that scandal, did that disinfect him? That's the second question. Mansa Musa, the third question. He says something.
For this second question, I thought this had been resolved. Later on, it came out that that issue wasn't true. But then, it's your question, so fair enough.
Mansa Musa, the question is whether that has disinfected him.
I'm saying that very question. Later, it turned out that it wasn't true. That
Mansa Musa, I don't want to.
No. What I'm saying is, I will allow him to come and speak when he comes. But what I'm saying is, that allegation turned out to be untrue. It has been proven to be untrue. It's not
any allegation by anybody, by the party
I'm saying that allegation has been, proven to be untrue. But if you insist, listen, if you insist, when he comes, I'm just saying that it has been resolved, but you don't believe it. Because if you say...
Yeah, so who proved that? Is it court of law or is it took the party founded on?
When he comes...
Okay, that's fine. Then the third question, you see, Mansa Musa, some people, when they talk, some of us don't want to listen to them because they are not credible themselves. He was accusing people as being corrupt and so on. So because they are in opposition, they wouldn't have that sort of money and so on to do what these people are doing. Mansa Musa, we are all not happy with the rot going on. It's rotten to the core. But we don't want people who are equally not credible to come and tell us the same thing we know already.
Okay. All right.
You understand? The last question I wanted to ask you.
Hang on. So what do you know already about this CJ, Chief Justice, one would say gerrymandering, and the EC, saga? What do we know already?
Mansa Musa, you know my stance.
I don't.
My stance
tell
still
everybody.
remains.
I don't, because if you say
my stance still
people think
remains.
that I know everything about you. No, I don't. Just tell us.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, my stance still remains that in Ghana we are not managing. I mean, there's no governance. There's no governance either by NPP or NDC. It's like the whole thing is run around individuals. Mansa Musa, look, the point is either you or himself. I want him to tell me whether he feels the way our electoral commissioners are being appointed is the right thing to be done.
Yeah, but he has already said that, and you are accusing him. He is not a fellow to say it. So now you say he should come and say it again.
Incredible. It doesn't sound credible. All these people who are tainted, when they talk, I don't listen. Because they are tainted, they are embroiled in the whole thing. But the point is, Mansa Musa, the point is this. Whether the way the electoral commissioners and some of these judges are appointed, whether they feel is the right thing. Do you understand? If it is not right under A, it is not right under B. But because it is A who appointed this one, that is okay. What I don't agree with my people is this. Because A appointed this one is okay, but because you don't like B, it's okay.
For me, this equalizing thing, that's what is killing the country. I know very well that Mrs. Charlotte was saying, maybe secretly or quietly, people who knew her, maybe she voted for NDC, or maybe she was a sympathizer, but she was never, hang on a second, she was never publicly, she didn't do anything publicly to tell everybody, I am solely behind the NDC, as is happening now. You see, everybody in Ghana should support somebody.
Musa, you are taking the thing to the wrong direction.
The moment we are going round in circles.
The process through which.
Let me ask you then, somebody to come. Let me ask you, what do you think should happen now? Who should govern the country?
Mansa Musa, the process through which Charlotte Osei was appointed is the same process this one was appointed. The process is wrong.
You mean Charlotte Osei was appointed after whatever his name, Jan Afarijan, was impeached or removed? Was he?
No, that is not my problem. We are all worried about the process through which these people are appointed.
Fair enough.
So we need to find a more objective
answer the question. There's somebody to come and talk. Answer the question. Who do you want to run the country now, as it is, since everybody is not good?
Mansa Musa, look, me.
Abe, your this thing is muted. Hello, Abe.
Yeah, somebody on my line.
Okay.
Yeah, left to me alone. Ghanaians should not vote MPP or NDC, as it happened in well-organized countries, in France, in Italy, and so on, even in Ukraine. So that these two people should know that they are disposable. Or dispensable, because these people are playing us like chess or some. And look, NDC is making noise. on the seams. I mean, on the touchline. They don't have any plan to move Ghana to where we want it to be.
Anyway,
They don't have it.
but once again, if I
Till
should
next
ask
year,
you again,
to tell us they're bringing us a manifesto.
if I should ask you again, if I should ask you again, surely 2016, you Abe didn't expect this rot, and everything is in relativity, as they say. We compare things and contrast and say which one is less evil or less good or better or best. Everything we do as humans. Surely, you are not saying that NDC is worse as a group, as governance goes. They are as worse as this Ekufado MPP. Are you saying they are the same or even worse?
Mansa Musa, your guests. Your guess, whether he took 100,000 or 20,000 or one city, it's still the same thing. You can describe it as corrupt. So that intensities, all that magnitudes you people are bringing in, some of us, we don't belong to any of these groups. So I don't care whether somebody misuse Ghana's one city or somebody misuse Ghana's 1 billion. It's stealing.
Can I say that perhaps you don't belong to any group, but as much as I know you don't belong to MPP, I can safely say you hate the NDC to the core.
Mansa Musa, I wish you can come to another platform, and you come in here. Look, I used to tell them that, look, during NDC time, the way they hate me there on your platform was worse. But some of us, we don't care. We want Ghana to work.
Okay,
you understand? We want Ghana to work.
I've given you a good shot. Let somebody to also say something. Joseph Nkrumah, hello.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, let me
I'm still trying to Mr. Fosukwachi is still typing. He said he's got a problem with the internet. So but hopefully he will come back. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me acknowledge senior comrades on the Zoom, and also a very good evening to your listeners and those watching you on YouTube. Mansa Musa, respectfully, I disagree with my Mr. Abe. Rightfully, he asked if Felix was a lawyer, and for that matter, probably because if Felix happens not to be a lawyer, then he had no business, kind of engaging in some of the discussions. And so, yes, I give him that, respect for asking. And so the same way I would say Rawlings wasn't an investigator. Rawlings is not an investigator to have pronounced that someone is corrupt or not. And so if he thinks Felix is not a lawyer, and for that matter, he should not go on certain tangents, why then would he have to, carry the cross of whatever Rawlings said on Felix? Felix has never been proven to have been guilty of any offense. He has no competent court of jurisdiction has predicted guilty or claimed guilty on Felix Ofosukwachi. And so it is neither here nor there. And the fact that people are saying NDC and MTP, they are all this, they are all that, they are all that. Mansa Musa, we live in the UK here. We've seen democracies in America, wherever, where we make comparisons to. You can't tell me there's no corruption in UK here. But at least there is a certain level. Okay? I'm not saying corruption is good. But here, we've seen the COVID time, we've seen how they said Rishi Sunak, kind of lobby some whatever to his friends and all that. But in all this, at least you are assured of a proper governance. You are assured of your human rights. You are assured of your freedom. You are assured of your child benefit or your job seekers, whatever. That is what we are talking about. Nobody on this earth, look, Jesus Christ. I can challenge anybody. Jesus Christ, when he came on this earth, he didn't solve all problems. Jesus Christ, he could have just said everybody, every person who is sick, just be healed in the whole world. He couldn't do that. He did that at certain areas. And even in Jerusalem or wherever he was born, he couldn't heal all those who were sick. And so we cannot presume that tomorrow we are going to bring KRP or CRR or whatever, and then Ghana will be heaven. But we need to appreciate that there are some people who are putting in effort compared to others. Are you telling me under John Mahama, this rot that is going today? Someone made a very good,
NFM
I think it
Radio.
was Beatrice. You look at even Baumia, comparing Baumia to John Mahama. You look at what Baumia, John Mahama did, even and NDC has done for Muslims compared to Baumia, who is walking everywhere saying he's a Muslim, and for that matter, he needs to be voted for. What has the MPP done for Muslims? You understand? You look at Terminal 3 now. Look at UGMC. Look at Akufo-Addo has destroyed La General Hospital for 3 years now. And you are telling me everybody is the same, and for that matter, we should not trust everybody and go and bring Jesus Christ to come in. I mean, let us be fair a little bit. Yes, our country is in dying times and all that is going into the abyss. But we need to be a bit frank. We need to be a bit truthful, irrespective of your hatred for whichever political party. That is your choice. But then we need to be honest in our discussion. We cannot just come and say that there's a certain Messiah who is going to come, and all of a sudden we'll close our eyes and we'll be open and there is no corruption. All of a sudden we'll close our eyes and Ghana is better than UK or America. It will never happen like that. It will have to take time. But look, when John Mahama started taking us from after the death of the demise of Professor Mills and all that, and John Mahama started taking us on, at least if he had been able to have that full 8 years, Ghana would have moved us at a certain pace. And even that 4 years that he had, we are all seeing things, visible things that we can see. It's not going about promising Makula people toilet and bath. We have seen tangible, reasonable things you can touch and feel and see that Ghana is being developed. But these people have come and nothing is happening. Instead of us to be angry at the ones who are taking our taxes now, we are saying everybody is evil. So who should we bring? The ones we are going to bring, are they coming from heaven? Are we going to bring Jesus Christ, or we are going to bring John the Baptist?
Don't forget, we have Chiribonsam, Odike, we have Mahama.
Mansa Musa, can I come in?
It's my turn.
Even in this country,
it's my turn. I'm speaking. We have Mahama, or is it Hassan Ayariga? We have even Kennedy Japan. We have what do we call that woman, Ekuyadonko. We have the CP people who their name, they are all languishing somewhere. We have Bridget, the PPP. So maybe NDC, MPP, no good. We have to vote for one of these. Or if we have to vote for the MPP, then we have to go for Kennedy Japan. Mr. Abe, will you accept Japan?
Mansa Musa, look, your last speaker said the same song you people have been singing. You have reduced governance to construction works. Terminal 3, this, that. Some of us, we don't see construction as governance. Oh.
Yes.
When NDC was in power...
Abe, hang on a second.
Let me ask my questions. Let me ask my questions.
Hang on, Abe. You see, your premise, I have a difficulty with that, where you started, that, it is all left, construction. Look, let's take construction aside. I agree with you.
MPP is telling us about what bridges they constructed. I
agree with you that governance is not only about construction. Fine. Now, if you take that,
he's telling us,
Abe, when the presenter is talking, let him talk. You are in the UK here.
Okay,
you know how it goes.
Okay.
You know. I will let you speak. I tell you all the time. I will let you speak. What I'm saying is, if we agree that it is not all construction, some people will say it's infrastructure. You say construction. I'll use your word. If it's not about construction, it's about proper governance. As we speak, where is that proper governance? In terms of the economic management, in terms of the social management, in terms of law and order, in terms of the judiciary, justice delivery. I mean, in terms of everything, agreed, food, transport, all these things. Now you say construction shouldn't be the be all and done all. How do you rate the rest? Is anything proper happening?
Mansa, you want me to answer now?
Go ahead.
Okay. The same factors you highlighted. Let me add one or two. When NDC was in power, what was the unemployment rates? What was the inflation rates? What was our industrial growth rates? It's the same as we are experiencing now.
No, it's not true. It's not.
Mansa,
You see, that is-
I'm listening to you. Let me.
Abe, I know what I'm talking about. It's no. Nobody will just stand there and say, "Oh, things are worse. Oh, things are worse." If
Mansa
you are the
Musa,
same, I tell you what, if it's the same, yeah.
Unemployment
If it's
Graduate
the same,
Association
people
were
won't
formed
complain.
under
Oh,
NDC.
Abe, if it was the same, people won't complain. Oh, if there was a head cut or
Mansa
haircut,
Musa, look, we are mostly here. We are mostly here because of no buildings or nice things. So for jobs, for healthcare delivery, these basic things.
Abe, if you don't know this country,
Ma-
let me
Mansa
tell you
Musa.
something. I told you some time ago, but you don't listen. You don't remember. I told you that 97 Marble Arch Tower is now demolished, and the building they are putting up, the device logic, massive. Marble Arch Tower, we were standing on the roof. It was that time, I think, 21 floors. And this Irish carpenter, Chippy, here they say Chippies, he was laughing. Saturday morning, he was just so happy, laughing. So I saw what's going on. So, yeah, you see the cranes. Anytime you see the skyline with plenty cranes, that means the economy is doing good. Abe, construction, I'm telling you, you say construction. Everywhere on this planet, if the cranes are not moving, that economy is rubbish. If the cranes...
Yeah, but Mansa Musa, can I just say that? Look,
quickly,
he's
so
talking
that
about
somebody else will come in.
Yeah, he's talking about we reducing governance to only infrastructure. Mansa Musa, he is good. He mentioned unemployment association or whatever, graduate unemployment, whatever. Mansa Musa, the national statistics, whatever. Would they sit in a hen coop to do the statistics? Wouldn't they need infrastructure? Providing justice for people. The judges would they sit on a cow or on a donkey to deliver justice, or they would need an infrastructure? Educating people. Would the people the people who will be going to school would they sit on a dog or on a
and Mr. Cressy, can you, the two of you, mute your microphones? Then I will come to you, and you can raise your hand whenever you want to speak, so that I let Abe and Nkrumah, do the banter for now. Okay, Joseph, let's go.
Yeah. So when you're talking about good governance, even for the minister to do whatever that you term as good governance, the minister would need an infrastructure.
NFM
Without
Radio.
an office, how can you get to the minister to complain about this and that and that and that? And so it's laughable when people say we reduce governance to infrastructure. Look, the infrastructure, the Terminal 3 we are talking about during COVID, if this economic management team or this government was prudent enough, the Terminal 3 alone during COVID, it could have provided us more revenue than we ever needed. The UGMC there, that they went to seek medical treatment, for which they termed as going to a hotel for vacation. Do you know how much it is fetching the country? The universities we are building, do you know how much it is fetching back into the economy? So if people say we are reducing, so where did you want us to kind of deliver governance? In build a hand coop, or just all of us be on the streets, 37 military, whatever, ground, and then deliver governance to the people of Ghana? Is that what we want? Even Kwame Nkrumah, Today, we talk about Kwame Nkrumah because of the infrastructural development Kwame Nkrumah did. Today, we talk about Tema Township. We talk about Kosombodam. What were they? Were there no infrastructure? So what are we saying? Is this the kind of people who say, hey, we want a third force and we NDC and MPP are the same? You don't even know what you want. You don't even know what governance is. I mean, they should stop.
Exactly. That was the question I was going to. Can you tell us your version of what governance is? Can you tell us? Can you tell us your version of what governance is? Can you tell us?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, come again. What are you saying?
Can you tell us what you think governance is?
What do you mean? I should tell you what governance is?
Because you are accusing me of what governance is. So tell us what you think governance is. Tell us.
You are telling me that governance, we have reduced governance to only. And I'm telling you that there are so many facets.
You are in the UK here.
You've asked me a question.
You are in the UK here.
Facets to what we term as governance. Okay, there are so many facets, and infrastructure can never be ignored as not being part of governance. Because you need the infrastructure to even deliver the governance you are talking about. To deliver the governance, you need infrastructure. Why do we have the Flagstaff House?
You don't understand what governance is. So look, you are in the UK here. You are in the UK here. Give me three what infrastructure which is being attributed to Labour or Conservatives. Give me.
I should give you three what?
At least three infrastructure which is attributed to Labour or Conservative. Tell us here.
I should give you three infrastructure attributed to Labour.
Because you say infrastructure is governance. So tell me what three or more. If you know more, tell us.
Now, okay. You are saying this because look, as we sit here now, 2023, UK probably has had the infrastructure they needed when they started.
See, you are saying that is
we are not there. We are not there. Where we are not there.
Look, where you are.
I don't know why this argument is going on. Honestly speaking,
when you have proper governance systems, infrastructure is taken for granted.
The UK here.
That's not true. Where UK is, we are not there.
Hang on, Joseph.
We are not there.
Joseph, I've already warned everybody that when the presenter comes in, that's how they do here. Not like the Ghana tap. When I come in, not because I want to stop people from talking, but I want to make a point, then you can join. What I want to say is that, Abe, if you go to your barrow, whether Abe Wood, wherever you are living, go to the council and ask them what do they have for the year, the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And you will see that infrastructure is number one. They are always talking about it, unless you don't listen. Look, they are talking about high speed. It is a major problem. The Labour Party is accusing the government that it's too expensive, it's too much, it will not be necessary. They are fighting about its infrastructure. As we speak, the Conservatives are priding themselves that they've built more houses, even though they don't use council houses, but they say they have built more houses. Look, to tell me that the infrastructure, this thing is not good. Germany, they are thinking of more people because their infrastructure when it comes to these nuclear reactors, how to produce energy, whether it is a green energy, what, it's all infrastructure, my brother. If we Africans don't have the infrastructure, if we build and maintain it, the rest of the governance, the services part, it will follow. Because we don't have infrastructure, that's why the services part is all about Japan Royals. Let's go and give it to some Abrofo somewhere. Then we take small backhand and the rest of people will suffer. So infrastructure is very, very necessary. Who else is here? Before I'll go back to Abe, because
Mansa Musa, let me react to what you just said.
Go ahead.
The councils you are talking about, all their long-term plans and so on, in terms of infrastructure and so on, do they attribute it to Conservatives or Labour?
Hey, they do, depending on the party in power. Look,
Mansa Musa, hold on, let me tell you.
Up to today,
Mansa Musa, let me tell you.
themselves that they brought about the NHS. And 97, to when Labour left office, they still pride themselves that they call this PPP this thing. They have built more hospitals.
You have brought in the issue of policy. You understand? You have brought in the issue of policy, not infrastructure.
What do you think? What do you think people in this country vote? What do you think people in your barrow will vote for? Let me ask you. The people in your barrow, what do you think will make them vote? If they know they haven't got the school places, if the waiting list is so long in their hospital because they say the government is closing police stations and they are merging some hospitals and the rest, they vote on infrastructure and delivery. Service is not, look, I'm surprised you are saying this. So you go and advise your Africans not to dwell too much on infrastructure. Is that it? Jesus Christ.
Mansa Musa, we are talking about policies. Do you understand? It is the policy which will tell you what solution you have to give to your people. Look, you don't Sagrami. That Sagrami you people are making noise about. The Sagrami project has reached where it is because of poor governance. Do you understand? Let me illustrate. Because you people use Sagrami to score political points. That is where it is in the state it is. Because Kufuor and his people, what they did, they wanted to use it to score political points. That is why NDC didn't continue. But supposing the governance process, we have a separate organization or a separate vehicle which is doing that. All what you do is you facilitate the financing of the thing. Whether MPP goes, NDC goes, it's the same organization will hold accountable.
Well, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Abe, I totally agree with you. So that means let's all agree that infrastructure is very necessary. But what you are saying, I can tell you that even now in Ghana is happening because some of the projects which were tied to certain foreign investors like ADB, the African Development Bank, like some serious foreign organizations, they wouldn't sit down because of the government changes and shenanigans. Otherwise, judgment debt we can't even pay. So it's going on. But the point is, whether it is tied completely to certain factors or not, if you see a project like Seglemi, my goodness, whether somebody chopped the money before, that thing you say, hey, all this life we are suffering, it's all about the roof over your head. So roof, if you can get oxygen to breathe, water to drink, and food to eat, is the roof. And those projects to be left to rotten. And we are not complaining. We are not complaining. We are talking about
this is the consequence.
Oh, dear.
Please, my hand is up.
Anyway, no, let this man to speak some. Abdul Razak, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you for the opportunity, and I like the kind of discussion we're having tonight. Yeah, but to start off, let me quickly bring it in. I think last week I made this point, and I will still reiterate it about the Senchi summit that the ex-President Mahama, tried to convene, bringing together all the political parties. I don't know whether that answers Abe's idea about governance, because when you have all the players agreeing to a common cause, then I think what Abe is saying will be achieved, and I think that's what Mahama started. But unfortunately, people like Abe didn't support it, and the likes of the MPP and other CSS and whatever, they all didn't support that idea. They even put it, and that is where we have come back to where we are, and Abe is complaining. Today, as we speak, we have the National Development Plan gathering dust under the leadership of Akufo. So how do we talk about governance? Well, governance not only about the infrastructure, but also about structures. And I agree with him when he said that when we have the structures in place, certainly certain projects will, whether the party is in power or opposition, it will continue. And I totally agree with him. And I think that is what Mahama started. So what he is talking about is nothing new under the sun. It's just that they didn't listen to what Mahama was saying. And today we are coming back to those things that Mahama said. That is it. But to say that infrastructure is not governance, that one too I will disagree with Mr. Abe. Yes, because if the structures will even work, it's about if the structures will work, it's about infrastructure. The structures itself, if they will work, it's about infrastructure. Because infrastructure is not only about building. It's talking about telecommunications. It's about infrastructure. Today we talk about the Accra Digital Center. That is helping the system to work. And it is infrastructure, without which, you can imagine what was going on under some time ago, where even accessing connectivity was, difficult. But today, fiber broadband, because it was late sometimes. Today we are all benefiting. So the two is synonymous. They go hand in hand. You can't have one and leave the other, right? But the thing is that Mahama started this, was having the idea, but we didn't support him. And that is why today we have come back and the likes of Abi are talking about what? Structure, which is part of it. If they had agreed and listened to the man and has even taken part or had taken part in that exercise, maybe his idea today would have been captured long ago and we wouldn't be going back to what, we would have been done some time ago. So that is the bit that I wanted to, chip in. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, Abe.
Anyway, your last speaker, has clarified some of the where my point, my stand. But Mansa Musa, you see, the way we understand, especially governance is not a static thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is about a process you use to ensure that there is direction and control of whatever you want to do. Do you understand? It's a system for direction.
Yes.
Once you have the direction, you have to ensure that there is a reasonable assurance that you head towards the direction. But we are not practicing. Let me give you a clear-cut example. Mansa Musa, you see, 3 days ago or so, there's another
NFM Radio.
explosion in the Western region.
Yes.
Okay. When the Apiate incident came about, what I said was this: if we are practicing good governance, if we are practicing good governance, like how these Oyibo people do their things, that particular incident, if it will occur again, maybe in about 15, 20 years, and even within that, it means they might have lost their guard. Because we could have used that Apiate incident to transform that mining sector.
Abe, I totally agree with you.
Regulations.
I totally agree with you.
With
You see,
regulations.
Abe,
To
I
strengthen
tell
the
you
thing.
what happened in any country, like you are saying, at least they will say, we were laxed a bit previously, but for now, the rules and the regulations that will come about, the laws backed by the proper legislation and everything streetwise, it will be done. But here
So
in the case,
hold on there. Hold on there. If you talk to MPP people, they will downplay this and tell you the bridges they've done, the overpass they've done. To me, it's unnecessary.
No. Abe, let's take one thing at a time.
And
If you
people
say
are dying.
no.
You have
Abe, if you say that, you will be diluting the whole conversation. Look, the point that you should say is that still it is the same managers who are in charge. Still, that serious accident happened. It's the same managers, and now another one. This time, I think we are used to it, so nobody even cares. The point is, you see, we do our mistake, and you are included. We have to hammer them that, hey, guys, you are failing us. You don't have to attribute the fault. You don't have to share. Hold on. You don't have to share the fault. Don't share it. Look, the people in charge.
Mansa Musa, hold on. Don't go far. Mansa Musa, let me give you 2 examples. If you allow me, then maybe after that I just go. Mansa Musa, under which regime did that atomic blast happen? Atomic gas explosion happen? Under which regime?
You mean Apiate?
No. The one which happened at Achimota or Atomic. Under which regime?
Oh, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember.
Ask your people.
I don't remember.
Ask your people. It happened under NDC regime.
When was that?
There was some gas explosion somewhere and people died.
Oh!
What happened?
I remember. It was rather domestic. Yes, I remember. Domestic.
It didn't lead to any transformation.
Okay, hang on. You see, this sort of attributing fault, you are so much into the fact that you should make sure everybody get their share of the blame. Look, when there's whether it was, I remember, even one of them, the wife of NDC, wife died or something like that. Look, the point is domestic. Sister died out of. Okay, domestic explosion, fire, all those things. Even today, these things that cause fire, mostly electrics, we are not being able to solve anything.
No. Mansa, that was not domestic. That thing was serious. It wasn't domestic.
It was where?
Where did it happen? Let me give you the last example before I go.
No, before you go, let's talk well. You said there was some explosion. Okay, let's continue. There was explosion. There was explosion during. Sorry.
I think Abe is mixing some points together. You know, maybe you want to refer to the June 3rd, disaster. But
that one was rain. That was rain and the filling station accident. That is different.
That was not the second one. This one happened around atomic.
Let's make progress. Abe, let's take it that it was in NDC time. So what should we do? What? Carry on. It was NDC time. Carry on.
Mansa Musa, because we don't apply good principles of governance, when these things happen, we address it like firefighting, then it goes off. But the reminders are there. Mansa Musa, let me tell you why I don't like your so-called revolution. Let me tell you one thing. You know, when you people did your revolution, 1979 or something, you know Akotolante happened.
Yes.
You know what happened at Akotolante?
Yes.
What happened?
Some incident. I remember Akotolante. I've forgotten but it's a long time, honestly speaking.
16 children. School children. They fell in the toilet.
Pit. A well or something. Yes.
16 children.
Yes, I remember, yeah.
Okay. Mansa Musa, that was a clear, if we are practicing good governance, because Rollins used that one to behave like a hero, but that was not the best solution. Mansa Musa, if we are practicing good governance.
What did Rollins do?
Let me finish. Let me land.
What did Rollins do on that particular case?
He pretended to go into the pit to go and rescue some of the children.
He pretended.
You understand? Mansa, let me explain why.
No. I want you to tell us the story because you know he pretended to go into the pit. Is that what you are saying?
Musa, let me explain why. Look, if we are practicing good governance from that time,
you cannot cast aspersions and just be left to just continue. I'm very much interested. Yeah. So Rollins pretended to save the children by attempting to go into the pit. Is that what you said?
Exactly.
That's what he did.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, Abi.
And it was not necessary. But Mansa Musa, let me illustrate why. Let me illustrate.
To go into the pit. Stop.
Let me explain the governance aspect, and we are talking about.
You make the rest of the conversation very discredited, completely, because it looks as if you have an agenda and you are just talking it through. I'm asking you that the heavy metal is what happened previously. Now it was an NDC, that explosion, which was in power. So continue from there. What happened, and why are you making that reference?
Mansa Musa, if we are practicing good governance, that particular incident should have left to the complete transformation of our building in sector.
Okay, fair enough.
You understand?
You. Yeah.
All construction sector, building sector, if we are practicing good governance, rather than making noise, that particular incident should have led to a complete transformation of our building or industry or sector. But hey, we address that one and that is how we manage ourselves up to now.
But I thought you said buildings are not governance. So where did you want Rollins to?
My friend, you are fixated on one thing. You heard what I said. I said our building industry. I'm not saying buildings. The whole industry. Mansa Musa, sometimes it is time, maybe when some of our people come here to talk, maybe you tell us the people's backgrounds so that we'll probably know how best to pitch these things.
Teach what?
Yeah, to pitch our conversation, because sometimes you assume certain things, and maybe the people you may be addressing are something else.
I don't want anybody's integrity to be, somehow be questioned. You see what I mean? Look, everybody here, I think, have their own backgrounds and their stature. Everybody have their work to do, their experiences in life.
If I use industry, you are telling me I said buildings.
Well, listen, what you said, maybe you didn't.
You said we are.
My brother, you were just deviating from the question the host asked you.
Abe,
you make an allegation against Rollins, but you couldn't.
Sorry, apostles of God. 1 second. Abe, I want to ask you, give me one building regulation, one here that you think is relevant that we should copy.
From which jurisdiction?
Here in UK, building regs. Which one do you know?
You know the CDM rules?
What rules?
CDM.
CDM. Okay, carry on. Go ahead. So tell us what it is and how we think we should.
Mansa Musa, you say one regulation. You didn't tell me I should
CDM. What is it? What is it?
Go and find out, or do Google and find out.
This is now insulting. Listen, if you listen to BBC, LBC, all that, when even engineer or a scientist, a doctor, somebody come and bring out some acronyms, the producer or the presenter will ask, oh, so what is it? Even though if the producer or the presenter knows, he still wants the listeners to understand what is going on. That's why you have mentioned it. I'm not testing you. I'm just asking you to, for the sake of listeners.
Mansa Musa, look. Don't we have a minister for housing or whatever in Ghana?
Yeah, you said CDM, yeah?
No, don't we have that?
No, we have. But what is the acronym, CDM?
Okay, so what are we paying them for?
No, Abe. You said CDM. Is it correct? CDM.
Yeah.
The acronym Charlie Delta Mike. CDM, right?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
Mansa Musa. Look. We expect people.
Jesus Christ.
We give positions to.
Yeah.
Or people we give power to. To deliver. Not to just occupy the post. You understand? That is why some of us, we don't relent in dishing out what sort of criticism, because we feel before you are given a given level of post or position, you should know what the rule entails.
So I'm asking you kindly to tell us what CDM entails. What is it? The acronym or the abbreviation?
That will not change anything. You say I should mention one.
Do you know or you don't know?
Mansa Musa, I know, but
so tell me.
I'm
begging you. I don't know, Abe. I don't know CDM. Tell me.
Okay, then find out. Have you Googled?
No, I don't have time now. I'm doing so many things. I'm just managing.
I told you I was going to give you 2 points and I go away because I have to do something.
Okay, so
I've not come here for a long time.
CDM is what?
Oh, Mansa Musa.
Yes.
I don't know.
Abe, please, come on, go on. Abe, CDM. I mean, you tell me because I don't know.
But Google, if you Google, you see CDM regulations.
Do you know that CDM, you can get plenty meanings. So, in terms of construction...
I said, do that and do the CDM.
Abe, I'm only suggesting to you, as they say in court, that you don't know.
Mansa Musa, okay, so it's construction design and management regulations.
Thank you. So why has it taken all this long? Why have we spent almost 5 minutes trying?
We are not here to.
Okay, so are you saying that the construction design and management regulations, we don't have them in Ghana?
Mansa Musa, you see?
No, I'm asking you, do you think we are not implementing them well?
I can tell you we don't have this in Ghana. But let me tell you something.
No, maybe we have, but we are not implementing them well.
Exactly. So, Mansa Musa, look, if you have a policy, if you have a rule, if you have a regulation, and you are not applying it, you might as well don't have it.
I totally agree with you. You see, the reason why I say, the reason why I say to you that, Abe, the reason I tell you that, Abe, the reason I tell you that we have it is that most of the heavy industrial development, especially the foreign contract ones, heavy like Atuabu and all those things, if they don't rely on this management procedure, we are all doomed. You see, they go strictly, with the laws and they adhere to it. But on our local level, just like when I was putting on my building, the first thing I asked my uncle, who was actually looking after the whole show, I asked him, so where do we, the drainage, where does it go? Then he started laughing, now we're gonna doing drainage. You see what I mean? I know the building regulations will tell you that drainage, one of the topmost necessity you have to think of first. But it's all there, but we don't manage with it. We don't work with it. Nobody cares. You pay bribe and you go. That one, I totally agree with you.
People are paying, people are allowed to pay bribes and so on.
Yes.
Who do we blame? The people in charge.
What a shame. Anyway.
Do you understand? No. The people are in charge. The point is, we always say we have all these rules, but it's not working for us because we are not implementing it. And this one, all the political parties are guilty.
So Abe, let me say something here. There was this Apiati, this was the biggest one. All those incidents we've mentioned, for the sake of their families, it's all, if your one person died, it's a big issue. But the one that caught the eyes of the whole world, the Al Jazeera, CNN, everybody was Apiati. Then the same area, another blast just recently. Don't you think if it doesn't help if we go on, bringing past and this, instead of just hammering straight to the point that, hey, guys, you are supposed to be in charge. What are you doing? Don't you think we should ask those questions now instead of going round in circles?
Mansa Musa, I can tell you, and we all know, some of us who are not affiliated to anything knows that these people are the hem.
No, I mean, you keep telling you are not affiliated. I know. I know this man, what do you call it? Akufo-Addo lied to you. You believed he would do something better.
Hold on. Let me land.
He disappointed you.
Whether he lied to
you won't be alone.
You
won't be alone. You won't be alone. Akufo-Addo has disappointed so many people, including yourself. You thought he would do good, and he has utterly disappointed you.
I don't deny that.
Thank you. Now
I don't deny that. I don't deny that. And Mansa Musa, whoever you are, if you relate to me and you do any stupid thing, I'll let you know.
No, but
I don't mean words.
Let me say too that even for today, you still think that you can give MPP a chance. But for NDC, nala, for whatever they did to you or your family, 79 and 81, you hate them to the core. Any?
Mansa Musa, yes. Look, yes. At the moment, it looks obvious that NDC will be next in government.
Yes.
Okay. Mansa Musa, can you or any of these NDC people on the touchline now, who are, washing their hands with glee, that it is their turn, can they tell us? I'm going to give one example, one sector.
Right.
Our health department or our health ministry.
Yes.
Can they tell us any blueprints or framework to make it better?
Unfortunately, this is a very good question. You see, Felix Ofozukwakye is one of their topmost listeners. Unfortunately, if I ask to speak, he said he's even typing, then it go off, And like if he's here, I would love him to ask. It's a good question that if they can perform better. But let me assure you this, that look, within the NDC fraternity, I tell you, they themselves, Abe, if you are listening, they themselves are asking a lot of questions. Look, they are quietly waiting to go back. The grassroots, I tell you, they are not just saying they are happy. Oh, they say they are happy. They themselves, they are in doubtful as to how they can perform. And I know they are going to give their people hell. I know.
Mansa Musa, let me tell you.
Mansa Musa, please, I want to come in.
Okay, you come, my friend. Tell me before I come. Come before I come.
Yeah. Ms. Abe asked a very cogent question. And I think the answers are not far-fetched. Because it is said that even when you are talking about something and you don't know the facts of it, we use part of the speech to more or less, determine the veracity of the matter. In the run-up to the 2020 election, Mahama had promised that he was going to make the health sector a tourist attraction, more or less. And it is for that reason he did the UGMC that you all know. It is for that reason he did the Bank of Ghana. So for somebody who has done this, and you tell me he doesn't have a blueprint, I'll be very much surprised. Because the NDC and Mahama believe that indeed there are certain sicknesses and diseases that people travel outside the country and even outside the West African enclave to go outside and to seek out healthcare. So if we can leverage on that, then it will rake in revenue to the country. And that is how come he built the UGMC. That is serving all of us. That's how come we have the Marine Hospital, that's the Gapoa Maritime Hospital. That's how we have the Bank of Ghana Hospital. So even this alone should tell you that I'm not one of the topmost, guys in the NDC, but I can tell you as a grassroots person, I can tell you this. So I think you should also know. When you talk, some few, weeks ago, Mahama was on record to have said that he has really assessed the situation in terms of agriculture, our imports, talking about the poultry imports. He has said, which I know it is doable, that we will have to have an import substitute, and that is the government giving out monies to the young ones to go into poultry farming. Some people may poo it, but if you do the cost-benefit analysis, you realize that the man is actually thinking.
Okay, let's remain with the health. Let's remain with the health sector that Abe inquired.
Right, so back to the health. Back to the health. In the 2020 NDC manifesto, Mahama had promised that there are hard-to-reach areas where it is difficult for them to access healthcare. And now, should he have been given the opportunity, or should he get the opportunity, he was going to extend healthcare to those areas. And he talked about even having a clinic on the water body, where those in, let's say, areas where it is difficult to have, motorable areas, and those who use canoe, they can use their canoe and get to more or less the hospital, which is situated on what? On the river body or on the water body. So, Mr. Abe, the NDC has a blueprint when it comes to, dealing with the issues in the health sector. If you want to go to other sectors, I think I will take up the challenge and then.
Abe, this one should be, this answer should be enough, isn't it?
No, Mansa Musa. What he said is just regurgitated something. NDC was in power.
I will think that.
No. It's okay. He said you regurgitated something. Yeah, we agree. Fine. Let's move on. Abe,
Mansa Musa, NDC was in power for 8 years.
Yes.
Atta Mills, then
8 years, all together. Yeah.
Okay. Did we see any transformation in our healthcare sector?
Okay, let me answer you straight away. Abe, I will say yes.
Yeah.
You see,
In which
you
areas?
deliberately don't want to accept facts. You now hang on a second. You deliberately don't want to accept facts. So it's difficult. It doesn't make the conversation, move, in a proper way. Abe, listen to me. Mr. Hang on. When I'm talking, when you are talking, I leave you to talk. When I'm talking, you have to listen. Please. Listen to me. Please.
So if within the 8 years of the MDC, we have had
maybe this guy doesn't. Yeah. Mr. Abdul Razak Ibrahim, listen to me. The point is, look, let me tell Abe. Abe deliberately doesn't want to know, no matter what you say. The point is, he's asking if there was any changes. For me, if in 2016, I would have maybe also argued that, there was nothing to look up forward to. But after the people have been removed, the number of concrete blocks that are being left to rot on the health side alone, the concrete blocks. That's why Mr. Abdul, this man said that, look, the policy was that he was going to increase and improve the infrastructure stock in the health service. The infrastructure stock. Even that is what has pushed Kufuor to bring 88 and then 111, Agenda 111. When he broke down the Labadi hospital and leave it to people to suffer. Mahama and his people said they are going to increase and improve the health delivery infrastructure stock. That is why you have the Afari. It was built before 2017. Sewia. Some other hospital, big hospitals, which are still not functioning. Because like you yourself say, we've got the wrong governance. We've got the bad governance. It's a fact. So Abe, the point is, unless you deliberately don't want to know, the difference is there. Look, when you bring in, hang on, I will let you speak. Abe, I will land in seconds. I will let you speak. I will land in seconds. You see, you can bring in ambulances, which is good. You can bring the drones to fire off, medicines here and there, which is good. But in the end, the base for hospitaling, the base for health, is the primary care, which takes place in hospitals and clinics. We got to build them. So any government, any party, which says that I'm going to increase the stock and improve the stock of infrastructure in that sector, it should be, challenged, applauded, and, supervised. We have to make sure we chase them on it. That is how it have to be. You can't just brush it aside that nothing has happened. Abe.
Mr.
I want Abe to respond.
Abe, you can't have
I want Abe to respond.
You don't have all day.
No. I want Abe to respond. Abe.
We have listened to you, Abe.
No. Listen. I make the choice. I make the choice. Please. I make the choice. I make the decision. Please. Abe.
Mansa Musa, you see, you are still emphasizing on infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Fine. The infrastructure are supposed to be basic things. They are not. They are not big things to me. But Mansa Musa, it was under your 10. Under NDC, that we started bringing in ambulances. The issue is still at court because it was more fraudulent activity than anything.
Fair enough.
It was under your 10 that a whole medical stores were burned down.
So that one too is a policy. Are you saying that is a policy failure? Let's stop this pedestrian. Sorry to say, street. No, Abe, you are doing street pedestrian collar. Listen, are you saying the hospital, the warehouse ban is a policy failure?
Of course, it's a policy failure.
Hey. So every burning that happens, like the Bank of Ghana burning, the bank something 2020 before election, so the some bank. It's all policy failure.
Which of the Bank of Ghana thing you are talking about? Is it the 60.8 billion?
No. I'm talking about 2020. 2020. Some bank bent. They bent everything there. Are you saying it's a policy failure?
It's a policy failure.
Okay. Fair enough. We all understand
it's
policy
a policy
differently.
Failure.
Fair enough. All right.
Because the banks are supposed to be supervised and make sure that all the necessary controls, physical controls, fiscal controls, everything should be intact.
Yes.
You don't go and audit a bank just to go and look at the money.
Well, it is not a policy failure. It's an operational failure. I can say operational. How to look after things, how to maintain things. It's not policy. The policy is to look. Now we are going to even have to come and define policy and everything. Abe, people are listening. The text I'm receiving. Oh Jesus Christ!
Mansa Musa, read the text, and the one I should respond. I'll respond. I'll tell them.
Please, I think Mr. Abe more or less is digressing on the matter. He brings up an issue. We will not finish. And he will bring another, which is more. My
friend, you are only talking about buildings. I'm not talking about only buildings as part of the healthcare delivery system. We are talking about healthcare delivery systems.
Okay, I get it. You spoke about the NDC blueprint when it comes to the health sector. We tried to more or less make you see the reality, but you are still poo-pooing it.
What reality? What you mentioned were not blueprints.
No, but
there was some sort of firefighting approach. Firefighting approach to addressing a healthcare delivery system.
Mr. Abe, the issue is that you were not in governance. You were not part of government. So you wouldn't tell me that they don't have a policy that is making them do all those things.
So if you have a policy, if you have a framework you are implementing, we should feel it and see it. You don't need to come and tell me.
When you were invited to say, did you go?
That is why these people are the helm. They can talk what they want. They can tell us what they've built. I don't care because I don't enjoy it. I don't feel it.
No, I'm asking you a question. When you were invited to Senchi, you and your party, your MPP, when you were invited to Senchi, did you go? Did you attend?
Did somebody tell me they sent me a letter to come to Senchi and they didn't go?
But you are a sympathizer of MPP, so if they did not go, all of you did not go. So that's what I mean. You are a sympathizer because you just admitted.
So if you are a sympathizer and you have not been invited, you just wake up and go.
The party that you sympathize with,
Yeah, so if they have not invited you, you just wake up and go.
Listen to me, Mr. Abe. The party that you sympathize with was invited to a national forum to make an input to ensure that the country progress on a steady path. They refuse to go. Now somebody goes, puts up a document, and you come and you say that you will not work with that document. You turn around, come and blame that person, saying that they don't have a policy. Meanwhile, what they are doing, you don't even know. Because when they invited to your party, you didn't attend. So
my friend, look, it was under the NDC that the national hold on. It was under the NDC that the National Development Plan was prepared by Nimue and I think Kesibochu and so on. Can you tell us which aspects? Can you tell us which aspect of the National Development Plan NDC and Amama implemented?
Tell Akufo-Addo they did not finish with the work. You must understand. They finished with the work and Akufo-Addo came to power. They handed the document to Akufo-Addo. So if you want the aspect of it, then we should ask Akufo-Addo to publish the document. Then you can interrogate it. Tell Akufo-Addo to publish the document, and then we will interrogate it.
My friend, Akufo-Addo is your president too.
Okay,
Akufo-Addo is your
president. All right, hold it. All right, hold it.
Akufo-Addo is your president.
Hold your fire.
And you want to impose on me as my president?
Hello, my good friends, please hold your fire. Let me read this on the dashboard. My producer just sent me about the UK here. It's a health infrastructure plan, which is HIP, acronym or the abbreviation HIP. It said the health infrastructure plan, HIP, would deliver a long-term rolling 5-year program of investment in health infrastructure, including capital to build new hospitals, modernize our primary care estate, invest in new diagnostics, technology, help eradicate critical safety issues in NHS estate. You see, so the main thing here is bricks and mortar. Then the rest is added to it, Abi. You can never run away from bricks and mortar.
Mansa Musa, stop there. Mansa Musa, stop there. Which department or ministry prepared the health infrastructure plan?
You mean which department?
Yes, or which ministry prepared the health infrastructure
first and
plan?
Foremost, it will come from a government policy. Then the technocrats, technocrats in the what do you call it, in the public sector, in the ministry, all those big guys, the technocrat engineers, the scientists, all of them, they come together. They are big head people will come together.
But who these things should be under the supervision of the Minister for Health.
Obviously,
you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so it goes, because it's a government policy, so it goes down. The Minister of Health makes sure that it goes to the Department of Health, then all the hospitals and so on. I've worked in the NHS before, so I know what you are talking about. Mansa Musa, what you mentioned, they didn't say, apart from the building, that's all. They mentioned diagnostics and so many things. Health infrastructure is not only buildings.
Have you read?
You understand?
I'm happy. No, hang on. You see, don't make everyone look like a fool. Abe, go and read the specifications in that university hospital, the Sewia, the Aferi, the Bank of Ghana, and the Rich. Listen, I'm talking, please. I'm talking. Listen, please, I'm talking. I don't like this. I said I will let you speak. When I will let you speak, I will let you speak, please. I will let you speak. I'm not joking. I will let you speak. Look, Abe, if you go and read the specification, look, I was middle management construction site. The company that built so many of the houses here in London here. Guildford, I forgot the name, but it's a massive company. Then later they turn it to something, the new name. The thing is, the specifications given. Go and read Rich Hospital. Go and read the Bank of Ghana Hospital. It's all there on Google. Go and read the University Hospital, the Aferi, the Sewia, and see whether they only put the block and cement. It's inclusive, everything. Inclusive of car park, with ambulance, with mortuary house, everything. Don't make people look as though they are still in the bush. It's bad management, bad governance. Bad governance is killing us. The thing is, look, the wheel has been invented already. We have to use the wheel. But some of us in Africa, we are not using it. That one, I agree with you.
So bad governance on behalf of whom? Who are you blaming now for that?
Listen, if after 6 years, 7 years, nearly $75 to $80 billion, give or take.
Mansa Musa,
hang on, I'm answering your question. Yes. Give or take about $70 to $80 billion. And somebody left blocks and concrete and other things, which is very vital for the people. And even if you have to investigate, all these monies have come to pass, and those buildings are still languishing in the bush.
Mansa Musa, what led to the need for it to be investigated?
The need for what?
To be investigated.
Well, if somebody feels that something has gone wrong, so should we leave it in the bush to rot?
Mansa Musa, let me tell you, you just read the health infrastructure plan.
I was trying to level up with you, but you are corrupted in mind. You hate the NDC so much. You are corrupted now. It's wrong. How can you say that this is Labadi, your hometown Labadi, you are a girl. Your hometown Labadi. Somebody come and knock down the hospital. 3 years now.
When you are
3
talking
years
to
now,
me,
they have not built it.
when you are talking to
and
me,
you are still,
Mansa Musa, when you are
arguing.
talking to me, leave tribe. When you are talking to me, leave tribe issue,
Listen,
please.
I marry a girl woman. You are a Ghana. It's not an insult.
That is not my problem.
It's
That
not an
is not my
insult.
problem.
If I say you are a Ghana, it's not an insult.
Issues. I don't care. Don't bring tribal issues in.
Okay, you are a Ghana. It's not insult.
I don't care. Don't bring tribal issues.
If you build your house, you build it on a Ghana land. How you are sharing your land?
That is not my problem.
How people are stealing your
don't bring tribal
people
issues.
are stealing your land and you are crying. You build it on Ghana land.
That is the thing. Don't bring tribal issues, please.
Anyway, Abe, there's nothing derogatory in what I said. I said, your Labadi,
yeah, but don't bring
knock down the
issues,
hospital.
please.
Are you going to blame Mahamadou for that? Abba.
To do what?
Akufo-Addo knocked down the hospital at Labadi. And up to now, they don't even know where they're going to start. You're going to blame Mahamadou?
You think Labadi only guns are staying in Labadi?
Listen. I didn't say that. If that hospital works, if that hospital works, the Ashantis who live there, the Northerners who live there, even people from Bema camp, they may use it. But I'm using the location. It's at Labadi. It's Ghana land.
We are talking of Ghana.
Yes,
we are not talking about.
Don't change the topic. Don't change the topic. What we are saying is, don't let your hatred for NDC screw your head up.
Mansa Musa, I don't hate anybody. MPP tells me I hate Akufo-Addo and MPP. You are also telling me. So you people can describe me the way you want.
No.
Some of us, we are fighting for Ghana.
I know where you are coming from.
Some of us, we are talking for Ghana. We are not talking for...
You are not talking for Ghana. You are talking for your personal hatred for the NDC.
That is what I think. But me, I don't know what I feel.
Abe, so I'm asking you the question. That the Labadi hospital that was knocked down, that one too, if they say Aferi and Sevilla and other places they are investigating, that's why they can't continue. What about the Labadi hospital that they knocked down and is still hanging there? What about that one too?
Mansa Musa, it is not a good thing. It's very
bad government. This is the worst government. This is the worst government in our life. This is worse than AFRC. This is the worst government.
If I live in Labadi, anybody who vote for that party which collapsed the thing and didn't do it, I'll fight that person personally.
Okay. I'll come and help you to fight him. Mr. Joseph Akresi, are you there?
Mansa Musa, but the thing is, we don't want to fight one group of people and another group of people come and do worse things. That's the problem.
That much, I agree with you.
Sometimes I ask you, the way you people are talking, can NDC guarantee us a corruption-free government?
Oh, that one is a good question. Me too, I want to ask. If in fact, corruption-free, I don't think anybody can guarantee it. But the resulting, hang on. But what happens next is most important. Because if every time, say a minister in NDC will find $1 million in her house, and Mahama will say, oh, thank you for your good work. I know you will be exonerated or you will come out in flying colors. That one alone, I'm sure it won't happen. That much I know it won't happen. Happy?
Mansa Musa,
yes.
Corruption. Okay, come in, my friend.
Mr. Abi has had all the time, so...
Listen, stop saying that. Listen. I give you time to speak. Stop. I am controlling. Look, I want him to come out because, we don't have to speak to ourselves. We have to take criticisms. We have to take the other side of the story. We don't always have to talk to our liking all the time. That's not good, please. So just, he has finished or he has stopped. Carry on, please.
All right, thank you, and sorry for that.
Don't worry. It's not anything.
But what I wanted to say is taking it from the flip side. Guaranteeing a corruption-free government, like what Mansa said. I think no government can ever guarantee a corruption-free government, be it NDC or MPP. But however, we are looking at the state or the rate at which it occurs. And when it does, what is being done or what will be done about it? We were in this country when a former minister said that when she gets $1 million in politics in her account, she will stop politics. And we all know what happened to her. I'm referring to Victoria Hammer, also known as Vicky Hammer. She was fired. So if I'm comparing that one, I'm comparing such a person to the one who writes a love letter to an appointee who is having over $22 million in her account. I'm not even talking about the dollar, the cedis, and then the euros and the pounds. And will say that you will be exonerated. Then I think I'll be better off in choosing the one who sacked somebody for the mere fact that she dreamt of having $1 million in her account. I think that person stands.
My friend, so do you think that was the only corruption incident which happened under Mama?
We talked about we can also refer to the bus branding saga. Something was done about it.
You can refer to what? My friend, I'm not interested. Can you tell us that was the only corruption thing which happened under Mama?
No, but I'm giving you another one.
What about this
the bus branding issue?
Sagrami people. What about your minority leader? They are all standing at court.
I said I'm taking one after the other. So take your time.
Even that your Mansa Musa, your guest today, your party founder found him guilty.
I'm saying that I'm taking it one after that, one at a time. So take your time, please.
No, my friend, you people should stop this whitewashing thing.
When the bus branding issue happened, what did the president do? He made the minister to refund the money, and eventually the minister was sacked.
So you think that was enough? You think that was enough? No, you think that was enough?
Tell me what Akufo-Addo has done.
Now, this lady who was at Maslock, where is she now?
And but the law is taking it to if she's found guilty.
Who took that law? It's the opposition came in before she ran away.
The law should deal with it.
No, my friend, the level of corruption which went on under your government is the same, except that these people are doing it worse.
Mr. Abbey, you asked a simple question. I have been honest and candid with you that no government, be it NDC or MPP, can promise you a free.
Yeah, that's all the noise you're making is the same. The values of people will say the value is the same. The value is the same. You are in the opposition, so you're hungry.
What I want to avert your mind to is that even though it will happen, but how does the president of the day deals with it is a matter of concern that we are talking about. And I'm giving you.
So you want us to wait till it happens before?
I'm referring to instances where issues of corruption came.
My friend, I don't need all instances. I want the results. The instances are not enough. What happened to those people?
If somebody,
your minority leader is standing at court based on corruption. Maslock, the woman has run away.
We know that one.
They are still standing at the court, and many more.
It should have been jailed a long time. If there's anything in that case, it should have been jailed a long time. If there's anything,
no, my friend, look, you people. The only thing is the people at the helm are also they are very, very bad people.
I'm not here to convince you.
But that doesn't mean people are better. That is what some of us are not happy about.
No, the thing is that you have asked a question. Allow for explanation to be offered. No, I'm not here to convince. I know I can't convince you because you have already made up your mind. But I want to tell you that even if it happens, what will the president do about it? And we are talking about his track record in similar situations.
Track record?
I'm telling you that
all these things I mentioned, didn't they happen under his reign?
And I'm saying that in similar situations, when issues of corruption came up, he didn't judge the case before it was being referred to the other constitution.
My friend, stop. You people can tickle yourself, but not to some offense.
Where in Muhammad's era did he say that I know the Siraj will clear you? Where? Can you refer me?
My friend, this is a different dimension. Mama can talk whatever he wants. Some of us, we know under his reign, things were very bad as well.
Yeah, it is very bad, but at least I was better off than today.
It's bad, but it was bad.
Yes,
But
yes,
what is the bad? Some of us don't want
and this is where the economy comes in. At that time, when the city to the dollar was possible, we said he was performing poorly. Today, city to the dollar is 12 cities. It's 12 cities better than 4 cities. So if you say it is bad, at what rate?
Okay, any other person want to say something, raise your hand quickly, because my time is up, so we can all round up nicely. I love the banter.
Mansa Musa, your guests run away because I've not had answers to my thing, but that's fine.
I've not run away. I thought the vote came in. But I'm asking
No, your Mansa Musa's guest.
No, but listen, Abe, it's not fair. It's not fair. The guy, the telephone dropped twice. The second one, he said, even when I'm typing, it's still dropping. Even the typing, I tried to call, didn't go through. Before you ask your question, before you ask the question, that is before you ask the question, you know.
From your tantrums, nobody is running away.
You see, but the fact is, Abe, I will try and bring NPP person. Then I would love you to come and ask him questions as well, since you have a lot of questions. Hey, anyone want to say something?
The fact is that when things were bad under the Mahama, you and I were able to buy cement for our project. Today, how much is the price of cement? Today, how much is the price of a gallon of petrol? So if it was that bad, then how are you going to describe this governance? How are you going to describe this entity? So please, spare us this. It was bad. Whether it was bad or not, Ghanaians were better off than today. At least we
better off in which way? Better off in which way?
We are better off.
In which way? In which way? In which way? In which way?
In price we're not better off.
What?
We're not better off.
Better off in which way? There was Doomsaw. There was Doomsaw. There was Doomsaw. The prices were high, unemployment, and so on. So, in better in which way?
You should not be talking about Doomsaw. And at your level, the level that I have picked, you should not be talking about Doomsaw and the Mahama, because you know that it is a generational thing. Something which was supposed to have been done.
It was what thing? It was what thing? No, it was what thing?
It was a generational problem. Because what I mean,
you are a joker. Look, how long? What positions? What positions did Mama occupy before he became president? What positions did Mama occupy before he was a minister? He was a assemblyman.
All right. I mean now.
Should have solved that problem.
Miss Abdul, Miss Abe, talking about being better or not, I hope, just like myself, having lived here for a while, either you are in the, you are about to complete, or you have completed maybe your housing project, right? In Ghana.
So what is your point?
No. I'm just rhetorical. If this is the case, do you think the time in 2016, either cement, iron rods, electrical fittings, labor, sand, cement, all the attributes, are you really saying that it is as hard and the same as today?
Mansa Musa, you know what we call a basket of goods when we are trying to measure cost of living?
Go ahead.
You know what items goes into the inflationary measure basket?
Okay, so let's use inflation. What was inflation at that time? What is inflation now?
Exactly. It was something I wanted to ask you.
Mansa Musa, you tell me, it was your thing. What was the inflation rate? How different is it now?
It never passed 15%. Today we went past 50. I think the last time here is 46%. That is how bad the economy is completely crashed. And you are still saying
how much were people being paid at the time?
Are you saying people are being paid higher wages now? Jesus Christ. Are you really, Abe? Is someone lying from Ghana to you or what? Are your family people lying to you or what? That they are being paid better now? Jesus Christ, Abe. It's worse.
If we're being paid 1,000 cities in 2016.
Mahama went to IMF. They never did haircut. They never did that. The economy was good enough to pay its way out, to pay itself out. They never, the agencies didn't junk our economy as it is today. So please, let's be.
Mansa Musa, there were areas, I would say, NDC managed better.
Okay.
Like the fact that they were able to create some reserves, they were able to establish the ESLA fund and so on.
Thank you.
These are
positives.
These are good.
You see, and even that Abe, even that one, apart from all the restrictions from IMF, and they had only one oil well. These people have got two extra. I'm saying NDC didn't manage more than $15 billion. Ekufado, his people have managed nearly 80 billion and counting.
Mansa Musa, don't be jumping around. Look.
He's telling the fact. But I wanted to even deal with you on the inflation. Assuming in 2016 I was earning 1,000 Ghana cedis, and the inflation rate was about 4%, right?
Inflation rate was what? Inflation rate was what?
4%. I'm saying it was about. I didn't say it was. I said it was about 12% because it never reached 15% under the NDC.
Under NDC?
Yes, and this is
my friend. Stop what you are saying. Stop the analysis you are making.
It is. If you can just Google it, please. If you don't have information, you can just Google it and then check. Just as we were referring us to the CBM thing, you can also Google it and check. But I'm telling you that in 2016, if I was receiving 1,000 Ghana cedis and the inflation rate was about 12%, what I could have bought with that money today, I can't buy. Even if I'm giving 2,000 Ghana cedis, the inflation rate is about 46%. So it means that 1,000 cedis could buy in 2016. Today, 2,000 cannot even buy it in 2023. Even if you multiply it in twofold, you still cannot buy it. So that is how bad the
and couple with that, Mr. Abdul. You see, governance. You see, apart from the raw figures, let me tell Abe this. You see, apart from the raw figures, the other issue is that when people are suffering, and relatively, the officialdom, the people in charge, even though we know they are chopping, but it's not as clear. It's not as it's not impugned. It's not everywhere like it is today. If the people in charge are not so lavishly living a lavish lifestyle, for instance, like Muhammad flying private jets every now and again, just flying private jets, then we'll hear that even this one is just hearsay. But a girlfriend, a woman come to report, we were flying the aircraft and we're going here and this and that. That wastage. You see, apart from maybe mismanagement, and that there is maybe economic meltdown, and that the inflation is high. If, on the other hand, the people see that the people at the top, within 5 years, some of them have got 3 mansions, 4 mansions, 5 mansions, they are just lavishly rich.
Yeah, what you are talking about, your guest this evening was also guilty about the whole thing.
That is very wrong.
Your guest was guilty about the whole thing.
No, what I'm saying is, listen. I said this thing happens everywhere. It happens all the time. But the quantum, listen, the quantum, the impunity is different.
Leave out the extremities. Stealing is stealing. Corruption is corruption.
No, it's not true. Do you think that Kufuor's administration, there was no corruption? But nothing can compare to this time. Nothing. These people are just looting. Anyway, if anybody want to say something, Mr. Mansha, do you want to say something quickly? Because I need to go. I don't want you to say I didn't allow you to speak. Mr. Mansha, do you want to say something? Mr. Kwashi, do you want to say something? Marcus, do you want to say something? Okay, if the answer is no, Abdul, Razak, finish it up for us.
Yes, sir. All right. So what I want to tell Mr. Abe and
NFM Radio.
his flight is that the NDC is resolute. The NDC is a better manager of the economy. The NDC is very sensitive to the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. The NDC will not engage in profligacy. And above all, the NDC will not tamper with our justice system, where even today, ordinary Ghanaian doesn't feel safe going to the court because you will not get justice. Just because some people are trying to
NFM Radio.
Accountability. That is the NDC for you. The NDC will give you equal opportunities and equal right to everything that each and everyone deserves.
Mansa Musa, he has raised
between the NDC and then the MPP. So the two can never be the same. The NDC is different on its own. The NDC is on its own level. The MPP is something somewhere.
Okay.
I can understand his frustration.
All right.
Mansa Musa, can I come in?
Quickly, just 30 seconds. I got to go.
My friend, you touched on another very important topic or word, accountability. Do you think accountability has ever been experienced or practiced in our part of the world? That is your party's mantra. Has it been practiced? Even the origin of the word accountability, probity, accountability, and transparency, the one who brought it out, the one who made it popular, was failing it every day.
I think I went off a bit.
Do you understand? That person even failed it every day.
All right.
So when people are talking, don't use accountability as there's nothing accountability in our part of the world.
When Mama said, because you are running away from accountability, you are packing the court, everybody went haywire. Everybody was not uncomfortable. And today,
can he pass accountability test? Accountability test.
Is that what?
Can he pass probity and accountability test?
But why don't you arrest him if he has done something wrong? You have had 7 years.
My friend, the dimensions.
The person is standing for elections, and I know how diabolic the MPP is when it comes to making sure that they do everything humanly possible, either covert or overt means.
NFM Radio.
Okay,
he cannot pass probity and accountability.
I know you guys have a lot to say. I'm thanking you all very, very much. I thank you all very. Listen, from the bottom of my heart.
Okay, Mansa Musa,
from the bottom of my heart, I thank all of you. Let's make it another time. Hopefully, this won't be the last time. Have a good night, all of you. Have a good night. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
right, so the sound goes, that means maybe Magrizi. That's Ben Braco. Hey, Mr. Nilati on Facebook. He said Abe is disappointed NPP. Where is it? Let me read it. He said Abe is a disappointed MPP member. And it goes on, all development projects going on in the UK are infrastructure development projects. That's true. On WhatsApp with Mr. Amuzu Jake, he said dealing with an subjective mind like Abe is difficult. Good governance can't happen without perfect infrastructure, so Abe doesn't know what he's talking about. Every economic variables in Ghana today is worse than ever. Let Abe be objective for once. Abe, this one here is up to you. Hey, hey, oh yeah, the way. Oh yeah, the way. Oh yeah, Musa, make my book. Oh yeah, Musa, make my book. Bro, baby, thanks to Mr. Felix Ofosukwache. He has just texted me to say that we will do this again. Next time we'll be sitting, or he will be sitting at the right place at the right time. And so we'll do it all over again. Hello, Kwesi.
Look at you, I'm a sewa.